Hello there. This is Penny's Place, and this is going to be Saturn effects for Aries. Okay, Aries. The last time Saturn was in your sign was April 1996 until June of 1998. And in April 1996, Aries, you were either working as a cop, construction, carpentry, or working with iron and steel, something like that. Most of you were single or had an opportunity to work with a sister or loved one. Some of you might have been working in restaurants or food. But you spend most of your paychecks on romance and recreation. And you bought health foods and kept up as best you could with your doctor appointments. And some of you were single due to a sudden death or of a spouse or divorce. And so by 1999, you got this idea about carpentry or something to do with wood, something you were going to do like on the side or in your spare time, and was even willing to travel to get to the work. And some of you had to move or travel, do some kind of police work. And if you drove too fast, then you probably got stuck paying a few tickets. And when Saturn arrived in your sign, Aries, she found you working hard for no one except you. And so she tried to secure and stabilize your work and shine a light on your talents in hopes that one day she could fill your empty legal partnership house with somebody special. And Saturn always saw that you were able to be friends. She also saw that you were able to be friends as well with your marriage partners. And that this special someone would have to share the same beliefs, maybe like a nurse, and be able to care for you if you were sick, and also to be sure that you had access to pain relief if needed. These were kind of things that she noticed you would kind of like to have in your partner. And so Saturn took a few notes and set off to work to get your dream relationship in focus. And Saturn's job, see, regardless of how hard she takes your dreams and makes them real. Now I say real, meaning logically real. And so in 1994, you went to the rescue of someone and then got noticed. And the government offered to pay you for a career near water and some travel for a lot of you Aries, as well as pay for your school and training. And for some of you, that might have been to do with iron or steel or carpentry or something. And by 1998, you had a good-paying construction or government right there near your future wife, and you didn't even know it. So by 2002, you had a marriage partner that was older, smarter, recently divorced, or in some kind of exciting Secret Service isolated work, but it was exciting and it drew your attention. You were fascinated by this. And long distance travel became limited to ground work, but there were ways to make these long distance jobs fun. The one thing you wasn't counting on, of course, was addiction getting in the way of your career. And by 2005, you were involved in some kind of rescue mission or rescuing people, and was paid for that. And your marriage partner seemed like went on to a legal field, or perhaps you did by 2009. And by 2013, if you're a baby boomer, then you probably get ready for retirement. And now you do kind of like detective work or undercover, or you're just plain retired from what you were doing. Or you're dealing with maybe serious life and death causes. Maybe you work ambulance or whatever. And then by 2015, your college and long distance trips will start to come to an end, or you'll be a lot more restricted because of your age and bones and stuff. But Aries, it's amazing. I look at the chart, and it starts all over again with the career, work, marriage, distance travel, career, work, marriage. You cannot, with Aries, Mars being your big ruling planet, which is nothing but compressed energy, there's no way to see if you're talking to an older Aries or a younger Aries, because they're all active. I mean, there's no way that you're going to give a rocking chair to an Aries and say, okay, it's time. He's going to say, you know what? I'm going to put some wheels or a little motor on that, and I'm going to, they could come back from the war and lose their legs or be in a wheelchair, and they're still going to you're going to find them out in the garage working on a car. They're going to get new legs and find a way to get right back out there again. I mean, the only way to stop an Aries is death. That's it. A gunshot, a very, very bad car accident. I mean, and it's incredibly hard to, again, I don't know who I'm talking to here. Am I talking to a young Aries or an old Aries? They're all energetic. They never die. They never slow down. You could forget about senior anything, because you can't tell a senior from a father from a son. They're all high energy people. They were, they get, and even if they're retired, you're going to see them working out at the fitness center, down at the gun range, at the car show. I can't tell. I mean, to me, and they're health fanatics. I don't know. Outside of sudden death, a sudden car accident, or I don't know. They survive so many things. And I don't know how to tell an Aries, this is the end of your scope. This is the end. You need to slow. You can't tell an Aries to slow down. So by 2015, the older ones, they're not going to stop. That's not the end of their life. I mean, it's not. like it says in the chart, you take them out of their cop job, they become detectives. You take them out of detectives, and they become a private investigator. You take them out of that, and I don't know how you stop an Aries. I really, seriously, and it's incredibly hard to know whether you're talking to an older Aries or a younger Aries. They're all the same energy. So what I'm going to say is by 2015, if you're an older Aries, I don't know, you're probably going to school. You're probably doing something. I know you're doing something. And you're included in my month-to-month starting in July, Aries. And that's all I can say. You know, you guys just go on, and all I can do is just keep reading your charts and talk about what you're doing, and you're going to have to sit there and listen and say, yeah, well, she's talking about my son now. Or she's talking about this or that. But I know you're doing something, Aries. I don't care if you're 55, 65, or 85. You're not sitting home. I know you're not. So, you know what? You find yourself in this chart somewhere. Find yourself. I mean, I can't tell. Honestly, I have to throw up the flag. I cannot tell. Aries, they just don't settle down too well. They don't sit still. So that's kind of an overview, and that's probably describing a baby boomer Aries people. But it's not the end. It's not over. They're going to start. The chapter starts all over again. They're really romantic, high energy, happy-go-lucky people. I mean, they could marry when they're 50, 60. They don't. They never stop. They don't. You can start writing the chapter in 2015 and run through the whole gamut all over again with some of these Aries. But that's a rough draft of what took place in the past 15 years. You creative people, I can say, well, you know what? It's very hard to tell an Aries, you know what, you got to let go of some of this stuff. It's time to call it quits. It's time to slow down. You know, they might say, well, okay, but I'm going to go get me a race car to work on. Well, okay, I can't do my steel job, but I'm gonna go get me a workshop, and I'm gonna start working with steel. I mean, you can't. There's such a blur there. You can't. Maybe they stopped work and they started as a hobby, and you can't see the difference. You don't know if they're doing it for a hobby or whether it's still working. But you know what, Aries, you're in there. I mean, that was the last 15 years. And I know you're in there. And I know what you're doing, but I know you're not. If you take the time to listen to this video, that's pretty good, because that requires sitting still, and that's just not something that you do. You guys are incredible. You're incredible and so necessary for this world, because you're so busy, so active, so much life. But anyways, Aries, there you have it. And for those of you that, by 2015, I see it's you're going to be in college. You're going to be doing something. But I know that some of you are forced to retire. If they could possibly stop you completely, that's almost impossible. Especially if you're a cop, it's going to take a gunshot. It's going to take a car accident. You survive half of that stuff. I mean, I just don't know what to say. It's you guys are just unstoppable, and you're incredible, and we're so lucky to have Aries in the world, because you're just so full of energy and so necessary to keep the world going. And so that's it, Aries, and you know where you fall in the spectrum of things. Some of you, if you're still working, some of you are retired, but you're busy, you're going to school, you're doing something, and there is no end of the road for an Aries except sudden death, and that's that. So that being said, Aries, I know I don't have to tell you to have a good summer. I know you are. And we'll talk to you guys, you younger guys, I think, in July, August, and on. And have a good one. We'll see you later.